Beat 'em Up City. This time we'll be talking about one of the cooler arcade beat 'em ups I've come across, and its Super Famicom Port. Denjin Makai was only released in Japan, and to this day there is no US version, which is a shame because it's a pretty great beat 'em up with lots of character and some novel features. The title translates to something like Electric Blade Demon World. It checks out. Before we get started, I want to say thank you to everyone who has watched my videos and left encouraging comments or liked and subscribed. I really appreciate it, and you make doing this worthwhile. Thank you. Denjin Makai tells the story of the Ghost Chasers, a special police force who chases after ghosts, criminals who operate under the radar of the futuristic law enforcement system. Think Minority Report with more punching. Published by Banpresto and developed by Winkysoft, Denjin Makai is a two-player beat-em-up with a sci-fi setting. You'll be fighting aliens, robots, and Power Ranger type guys through 6 levels of insane action. In addition to the regular strikes and combos, each of the 6 playable characters in Denjin Makai also has a number of throws and special moves. You can even grab the other player to execute a special team-up move. Special moves are performed just like the original Street Fighter or Final Fight 3. You must hold down the attack button, which causes your character to block, then quickly execute directional commands. These moves don't always seem to work, however, and are very unforgiving. Some moves have slightly different inputs, like simply pressing jump and attack at the same time, or require certain conditions like being in the air or dashing. The name of the special move is displayed on screen when it is performed. Special moves consume part of a power bar that builds up over time. If you can manage to stand still, you can charge the meter faster. There's even a super desperation move for each character that is incredibly powerful, and can defeat any enemy within range. It requires that your health is low and consumes the entire full power bar. Additionally, your characters have automatic wake-up moves, flying moves that can hit enemies on the ground, and other special attacks. Weapons include lightsabers, stun batons, guns, and grenades. Some stages feature hazards like a spiked bulldozer or an electrified cage. The screen can get really crowded sometimes. I lost track of how many enemies are on screen at any given time. The somewhat wild cast of characters includes Makai, a generic red-haired hero with some very Ryu and Ken-like special moves, Iyo, the cat girl who is highly agile and carries a mace, Belva, a robot with fast fists, Kurokishi, who is Makai but a girl, Tarks, who is a muscle-bound wrestler in traditional Japanese underwear, and Zeldia, a werewolf gorilla cyborg thing. Boss battles sometimes feature 2 bosses at a time, and sometimes they're clones of the playable characters. The end boss is a guy in a suit. It's a weird game. The music is okay, but the audio hardware in the cabinet is not great, so it sounds a little noisy. It's a fun game, definitely much more fun with 2 players, and with lots of weird and wacky features. The Super Famicom Port has a different name, Ghost Chaser Densei. I have absolutely no idea what Densei means. Unfortunately, the Super Famicom was a little limited compared to the arcade hardware of the time, so the roster of playable characters was reduced to 3, Makai, Iyo, and Belva. The others still appear in the game, Kurokishi in a brief cameo and the others as bosses with their names changed. It's mostly a pretty faithful port despite the necessary downgrades in graphics and content. One stage was removed, and the lightsaber and stun baton weapons are nowhere to be found. The team-up moves don't seem to work either. Moreover, only 4 enemies can appear on screen at any given time. You are also limited to just 8 credits with only 1 life per credit. However, all the enemies and bosses are here with the exception of the one missing stage. They all seem to be the same. The soundtrack seems to have improved here, but why not take a listen to a piece of both and let me know what you think. The Super Famicom version controls much better than the arcade version. Controls are responsive, it feels faster, and the special moves are super easy to pull off. There even seems to be a few special moves added. The visual effects, though, have been toned down and the name no longer appears. A new feature is the ability to charge some special moves. They consume more power but improve their distance and damage. It's a really nice feature. Overall, between the 2 versions, I prefer the Super Famicom version just because of its playability. Even with fewer characters, it feels like a much more polished version of the game. Which version do you like better? Let me know in the comments, and please like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Playlists in the description, affiliate links. Until next time, game over.